The Gospel of Thomas. Patterson and Robinson translation. Full sayings 1 through 114. Saying 1. Jesus said, "Whoever finds the meaning of these words will not taste death." Saying 2. Jesus said, "The one who seeks should not cease seeking until he finds. And when he finds, he will be dismayed. And when he is dismayed, he will be astonished. And he will be king over the all." Saying 3. Jesus said, "If those who lead you say to you, 'Look, the kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fishes will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you and outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if you do not come to know yourselves, then you exist in poverty, and you are poverty." Saying 4. Jesus said, "The person old in his days will not hesitate to ask a child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become a single one." Saying 5. Jesus said, "Come to know what is in front of you, and that which is hidden from you will become clear to you. For there is nothing hidden that will not become manifest." Saying 6. His disciples questioned him and said to him, "Do you want us to fast? And how should we pray and give alms? And what diet should we observe?" Jesus said, "Do not lie, and do not do what you hate. For everything is disclosed in view of the truth. For there is nothing hidden that will not become revealed, and there is nothing covered that will remain undisclosed." Saying 7. Jesus said, "Blessed is the lion that a person will eat, and the lion will become human. And cursed is the person whom a lion will eat, and the lion will become human." Saying 8. Jesus said, "The human being is like a sensible fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea filled with little fish. Among them, the sensible fisherman found a large, fine fish. He threw all the little fish back into the sea and chose the large fish effortlessly. Whoever has ears to hear should hear." Saying 9. Jesus said, "Look, a sower went out. He filled his hands with seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the path, and the birds came and pecked them up. Others fell on the rock and did not take root in the soil and did not put forth ears. Others fell among the thorns. They choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on good soil and produced good fruit. It yielded 60 per measure and 120 per measure." Saying 10. Jesus said, "I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes." Saying 11. Jesus said, "This heaven will pass away, and the heaven above it will pass away. And the dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what was dead, you made it alive. When you are in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you become two, what will you do?" Saying 12. The disciples said to Jesus, "We know that you will depart from us. Who then will rule over us?" Jesus said to them, "No matter where you came from, you should go to James the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being." Saying 13. Jesus said to his disciples, "Compare me, and tell me whom I am like." Simon Peter said to him, "You are like a just messenger." Matthew said to him, "You are like an especially wise philosopher." Thomas said to him, "Teacher, my mouth cannot bear at all to say whom you are like." Jesus said, "I am not your teacher, for you have drunk. You have become intoxicated at the bubbling spring that I have measured out." And he took him, withdrew, and said 3 words to him. But when Thomas came back to his companions, they asked him, "What did Jesus say to you?" Thomas said to them, "If I tell you one of the words he said to me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me, and fire will come out of the stones and burn you up." Saying 14. Jesus said to them, "If you fast, you will bring forth sin for yourselves. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirits. And if you go into any land and wander from place to place, and if they take you in, then eat what they will set before you, and heal the sick among them. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you. Rather, what comes out of your mouth will defile you." Saying 15. Jesus said, "When you see one who was not born of woman, fall on your face and worship him. That one is your Father." Saying 16. Jesus said, "Perhaps people think that I have come to cast peace upon the earth. But they do not know that I have come to cast dissension upon the earth, fire, sword, war. For there will be 5 in one house, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3, father against son and son against father, and they will stand as solitary ones." Saying 17. Jesus said, "I will give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has not occurred to the human mind." Saying 18. The disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us how our end will be." Jesus said, "Have you already discovered the beginning, that you are now asking about the end? For where the beginning is, there the end will be too. Blessed is he who will stand at the beginning, and he will know the end, and he will not taste death." Saying 19. Jesus said, "Blessed is he who was before he came into being. If you become disciples of mine and listen to my words, these stones will serve you. For you have 5 trees in paradise that do not change during summer and winter, and their leaves do not fall. Whoever comes to know them will not taste death." Saying 20. The disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us whom the kingdom of heaven is like." He said to them, "It is like a mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on cultivated soil, it produces a large branch and becomes shelter for the birds of the sky." Saying 21. Mary said to Jesus, "Whom are your disciples like?" He said, "They are like servants who are entrusted with a field that is not theirs. When the owners of the field arrive, they will say, 'Let us have our field.' They are naked in their presence, so as to let them have it and to give them their field. That is why I say, when the master of the house learns that the thief is about to come, he will be on guard before he comes, and will not let him break into his house, his domain, to carry away his possessions. But you, be on guard against the world. Gird your loins with great strength, so that the robbers will not find a way to get to you. For the necessities for which you wait will be found. There ought to be a wise person among you. When the fruit was ripe, he came quickly with his sickle in his hand and harvested it. Whoever has ears to hear should hear." Saying 22. Jesus saw infants being suckled. He said to his disciples, "These little ones being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom." They said to him, "Then will we enter the kingdom as little ones?" Jesus said to them, "When you make the 2 into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female into a single one, so that the male will not be male, and the female will not be female, and when you make eyes instead of an eye, and a hand instead of a hand, and a foot instead of a foot, an image instead of an image, then you will enter the kingdom." Saying 23. Jesus said, "I will choose you, 1 from 1,000 and 2 from 10,000, and they will stand as a single one." Saying 24. His disciples said, "Show us the place where you are, because it is necessary for us to seek it." He said to them, "Whoever has ears should hear. Light exists inside a person of light, and he shines on the whole world. If he does not shine, there is darkness." Saying 25. Jesus said, "Love your brother like your life. Protect him like the apple of your eye." Saying 26. Jesus said, "You see the splinter that is in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam that is in your own eye. When you remove the beam from your own eye, then you will see clearly enough to remove the splinter from your brother's eye." Saying 27. Jesus said, "If you do not abstain from the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not make the Sabbath into a Sabbath, you will not see the Father." Saying 28. Jesus said, "I stood in the middle of the world, and in flesh I appeared to them. I found all of them drunk. None of them did I find thirsty. And my soul ached for the children of humanity, because they are blind in their heart and cannot see. For they came into the world empty, and they also seek to depart from the world empty. But now they are drunk. When they shake off their wine, then they will change their mind." Saying 29. Jesus said, "If the flesh came into being because of the Spirit, it is a wonder. But if the Spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has taken up residence in this poverty." Saying 30. Jesus said, "Where there are 3 gods, they are gods. Where there are 2 or 1, I am with him." Saying 31. Jesus said, "No prophet is accepted in his own village. A physician does not heal those who know him." Saying 32. Jesus said, "A city built upon a high mountain and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden." Saying 33. Jesus said, "What you will hear with your ear, proclaim from your rooftops. For no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel, nor does he put it in a hidden place. Rather, he puts it on a lampstand, so that everyone who comes in and goes out will see its light." Saying 34. Jesus said, "If a blind person leads a blind person, both will fall into a pit." Saying 35. Jesus said, "It is not possible for someone to enter the house of a strong person and take it by force, unless he first binds his hands. Then he will loot his house." Saying 36. Jesus said, "Do not worry from morning to evening and from evening to morning about what you will wear." Saying 37. His disciples said, "When will you appear to us, and when will we see you?" Jesus said, "When you undress without being ashamed, and take your clothes and put them under your feet like little children and trample on them, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid." Saying 38. Jesus said, "Many times have you desired to hear these words that I am speaking to you, and you have no one else from whom to hear them. There will be days when you will seek me and will not find me." Saying 39. Jesus said, "The Pharisees and the scribes have received the keys of knowledge, but they have hidden them. They have neither entered nor allowed those who wish to enter to do so. You, however, be as shrewd as serpents and as innocent as doves." Saying 40. Jesus said, "A grapevine was planted outside the vineyard of the Father, and since it is not supported, it will be pulled up by its roots and will perish." Saying 41. Jesus said, "Whoever has something in his hand, something more will be given to him, and whoever has nothing, even the little he has, will be taken from him." Saying 42. Jesus said, "Become passers-by." Saying 43. His disciples said to him, "Who are you to say these things to us?" Jesus said to them, "Do you not realize from what I say to you who I am? But you have become like the Jews. They love the tree but hate its fruit, or they love the fruit but hate the tree." Saying 44. Jesus said, "Whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, neither on earth nor in heaven." Saying 45. Jesus said, "Grapes are not harvested from thorns, nor are figs picked from thistles, for they do not produce fruit. A good person brings forth good from the good treasure that is in his heart, and a bad person brings forth evil from the evil treasure that is in his heart. For out of the abundance of the heart he brings forth evil. Saying 46. Jesus said, "From Adam to John the Baptist, among those born of women, there is no one who surpasses John the Baptist, so that his eyes need not be downcast. But I have also said that whoever among you becomes little will know the kingdom and will surpass John." Saying 47. Jesus said, "It is impossible for a person to mount 2 horses or to stretch 2 bows, and it is impossible for a servant to serve 2 masters, for he will honor the one and insult the other. No one drinks old wine and immediately desires new wine, and new wine is not put into old wineskins, lest they burst, nor is old wine put into new wineskins, lest it spoil them. An old patch is not sewn onto a new garment, because a tear will result." Saying 48. Jesus said, "If 2 make peace with one another in one and the same house, they will say to the mountain, 'Move away,' and it will move away." Saying 49. Jesus said, "Blessed are the solitary ones, the elect, for you will find the kingdom, for you come from it, and you will return to it." Saying 50. Jesus said, "If they say to you, 'Where do you come from?' say to them, 'We have come from the light, the place where the light has come into being by itself, and has established itself, and has appeared in their image. If they say to you, 'Is it you?' say, 'We are its children, and we are the elect of the living Father.' If they ask you, 'What is the sign of your Father among you?' say to them, 'It is movement and repose.'" Saying 51. His disciples said to him, "When will the resurrection of the dead take place, and when will the new world come?" He said to them, "That resurrection which you are awaiting has already come, but you do not recognize it." Saying 52. His disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and all of them have spoken through you." He said to them, "You have pushed away the living one from yourselves, and you have begun to speak of those who are dead." Saying 53. His disciples said to him, "Is circumcision beneficial or not?" He said to them, "If it were beneficial, their father would beget them circumcised from their mother. But the true circumcision in the Spirit has prevailed over everything." Saying 54. Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to you." Saying 55. Jesus said, "Whoever does not hate his father and his mother cannot become a disciple of mine. And whoever does not hate his brothers and his sisters and does not take up his cross as I do will not be worthy of me." Saying 56. Jesus said, "Whoever has come to know the world has found a corpse, and whoever has found a corpse, of him the world is not worthy." Saying 57. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a person who had good seed. His enemy came by night and sowed weeds among the good seed. The person did not allow them to pull up the weeds, saying, 'Lest you pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest the weeds will be apparent and will be pulled up and burned.'" Saying 58. Jesus said, "Blessed is the person who has struggled. He has found life." Saying 59. Jesus said, "Look for the living one while you are alive, so that you will not die and then seek to see him and be unable to see him." Saying 60. He saw a Samaritan who was trying to steal a lamb while he was on his way to Judea, and he said to his disciples, "That person is stalking the lamb." They said to him, "So that he may kill it and eat it?" He said to them, "As long as it is alive, he will not eat it, but only when he has killed it and it has become a corpse." They said to him, "Otherwise he cannot do it." He said to them, "You too, look for a place for your repose, lest you become a corpse and get eaten." Saying 61. Jesus said, "Two will rest on a bed. The one will die, the other will live." Salome said, "Who are you, man, that you have gotten a place on my couch as a stranger and have eaten from my table?" Jesus said to her, "I am the one who comes from the one who is always the same. I was given some of that which belongs to my Father." She said, "I am your disciple." Jesus said, "Therefore I say, if someone becomes like God, he will become full of light. But if he becomes separated, he will become full of darkness." Saying 62. Jesus said, "I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries. Whatever your right hand does, your left hand should not know what it is doing." Saying 63. Jesus said, "There was a rich person who had many possessions. He said, 'I will use my possessions so that I might sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouses with fruit, so that I will not lack anything.' This was what he was thinking in his heart. And in that night he died. Whoever has ears to hear should hear." Saying 64. Jesus said, "A person had guests. When he had prepared the dinner, he sent his servant to invite the guests. One said, 'I have business with merchants and must give instructions. Excuse me from the dinner.' Another said, 'I have bought a house and must attend to it. Excuse me.' Another said, 'My friend is going to marry and I must prepare the meal. Excuse me.' Another said, 'I have bought a village and must collect its rent. Excuse me.' The servant returned and told his master. The master said, 'Go out on the roads and bring back whomever you find, so that they may dine. Dealers and merchants will not enter the places of my Father.'" Saying 65. Jesus said, "A landowner owned a vineyard and gave it to farmers so that they would work it and he might receive its fruit from them. He sent his servant to receive the fruit, but the farmers seized him, beat him, and nearly killed him. He sent another servant, and they beat him as well. Then he sent his son, saying, 'Perhaps they will respect my son.' But the farmers knew he was the heir, seized him, and killed him. Whoever has ears to hear should hear." Saying 66. Jesus said, "Show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the cornerstone." Saying 67. Jesus said, "Whoever knows all, that lacks one thing, is already lacking everything." Saying 68. Jesus said, "Blessed are you when they hate you and persecute you. They will find no place where they have persecuted you." Saying 69. Jesus said, "Blessed are those who have been persecuted in their heart. They are the ones who have truly come to know the Father. Blessed are those who hunger, so that the belly of the one who desires will be satisfied." Saying 70. Jesus said, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. If you do not have that within you, what you do not have within you will kill you." Saying 71. Jesus said, "I will destroy this house, and no one will be able to build it again." Saying 72. A person said to Jesus, "Tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me." He said to him, "Man, who made me a divider?" He turned to his disciples and said, "I am not a divider, am I?" Saying 73. Jesus said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few." Saying 74. Jesus said, "Lord, there are many around the well, but there is nothing in the well." Saying 75. Jesus said, "Many are standing at the door, but it is the solitary ones who will enter the wedding hall." Saying 76. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a merchant who had merchandise and found a pearl. The merchant was prudent. He sold the merchandise and bought the pearl alone. You too should seek his treasure that does not perish, which no moth can reach to eat and no worm can destroy." Saying 77. Jesus said, "I am the light that is over all things. I am the All. The All came forth from me, and the All has come to me. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift the stone, and you will find me there. Saying 78. Jesus said, "Why did you go out into the countryside? To see a reed shaken by the wind, or to see a person dressed in soft clothing? Those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses, and will not be able to recognize the truth." Saying 79. A woman in the crowd said to him, "Blessed is the womb that bore you, and the breast that nourished you." He said to her, "Blessed are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there will be days when you will say, 'Blessed is the womb that has not conceived, and the breasts that have not given milk.'" Saying 80. Jesus said, "Whoever has come to know the world has found the body, and whoever has found the body, of him the world is not worthy." Saying 81. Jesus said, "Whoever has become rich should be king, and whoever has power should renounce it." Saying 82. Jesus said, "The person who is near me is near the fire, and the person who is far from me is far from the kingdom." Saying 83. Jesus said, "The images are visible to humanity, but the light within them is hidden in the image. The light of the Father will reveal itself, but his image is hidden by his light." Saying 84. Jesus said, "When you see your likeness, you are full of joy. But when you see your likenesses that came into existence before you, and that neither die nor become manifest, how much will you bear?" Saying 85. Jesus said, "Adam came from a great power and a great wealth, but he did not become worthy of you. For if he had been worthy, he would not have tasted death." Saying 86. Jesus said, "Foxes have their holes, and birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head down and to rest." Saying 87. Jesus said, "Wretched is the body that depends on a body, and wretched is the soul that depends on these two." Saying 88. Jesus said, "The messengers and the prophets will come to you, and they will give you what belongs to you, and you, in turn, give to them what you have in your hands, and say to yourselves, 'When will they come and take what belongs to them?'" Saying 89. Jesus said, "Why do you wash the outside of the cup? Do you not understand that the one who created the inside is also the one who created the outside?" Saying 90. Jesus said, "Come to me, for my yoke is gentle and my lordship is mild, and you will find repose for yourselves." Saying 91. They said to him, "Tell us who you are, so that we may believe in you." He said to them, "You examine the face of the sky and the earth, but the one who is before you, you have not recognized, and you do not know how to test this moment." Saying 92. Jesus said, "Seek and you will find. But the things you asked me about in former times, which I did not tell you then, now I am willing to tell you, but you do not seek them." Saying 93. Jesus said, "Do not give what is holy to the dogs, lest they throw it upon the dung heap. Do not throw pearls to swine, lest they trample them into the mud." Saying 94. Jesus said, "The one who seeks will find, and the one who knocks, to that one it will be opened." Saying 95. Jesus said, "If you have money, do not lend it out at interest. Rather, give it to the one from whom you will not get it back." Saying 96. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a woman who took a little bit of yeast and hid it in dough and made it into large loaves of bread. Whoever has ears to hear should hear." Saying 97. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a woman who was carrying a jar filled with flour. While she was walking on the road, far from home, the handle of the jar broke, and the flour leaked out onto the path. She did not know it. She had noticed no problem. When she reached her house, she put the jar down and found it empty." Saying 98. Jesus said, The kingdom of the Father is like a person who wanted to kill a powerful person. He drew the sword in his house and stabbed it into the wall to test whether his hand would be strong enough. Then he killed the powerful one. Saying 99. The disciples said to him, "Your brothers and your mother are standing outside." He said to them, "Those who are here and do the will of my Father are my brothers and my mother. They are the ones who will enter the kingdom of my Father." Saying 100. They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, "Caesar's people demand taxes from us." He said to them, "Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give God what belongs to God. And give me what is mine." Saying 101. Jesus said, "Whoever does not hate his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple of mine. And whoever does not love his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple of mine. For my mother bore me, but my true mother gave me life." Saying 102. Jesus said, "Woe to the Pharisees, for they are like a dog sleeping in a cattle trough. It neither eats nor lets the cattle eat." Saying 103. Jesus said, "Blessed is the person who knows at which point the robbers are going to enter, so that he may arise, gather together his domain, and gird his loins before they enter." Saying 104. They said to Jesus, "Come, let us pray and fast today." Jesus said, "What sin have I committed, or in what have I been overcome? But when the bridegroom comes out of the wedding chamber, then let them fast and pray." Saying 105. Jesus said, "Whoever comes to know father and mother will be called the son of a whore." Saying 106. Jesus said, "When you make the two into one, you will become sons of man, and when you say, 'Mountain, move away,' it will move away." Saying 107. Jesus said, "The kingdom is like a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray. He left the 99 and sought the one until he found it. After he had toiled, he said to the sheep, 'I love you more than the 99. Saying 108. Jesus said, "Whoever drinks from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become that person, and the hidden things will be revealed to him." Saying 109. Jesus said, "The kingdom is like a person who had a hidden treasure in his field without knowing it. After he died, he left it to his son. The son did not know about the treasure. He took over the field and sold it. The one who bought it came, and while plowing, found the treasure. He began to lend money at interest to whomever he wished." Saying 110. Jesus said, "Whoever has found the world and become wealthy should renounce the world." Saying 111. Jesus said, "The heavens and the earth will roll up before you, and the one who lives from the living one will not see death. Whoever has found himself, of him the world is not worthy." Saying 112. Jesus said, "Woe to the flesh that depends on the soul. Woe to the soul that depends on the flesh." Saying 113. His disciples said to him, "On what day will the kingdom come?" Jesus said, "It will not come by watching for it. They will not say, 'Look here,' or 'Look there.' Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and people do not see it." Saying 114. Simon Peter said to them, "Let Mary go away from us, for women are not worthy of life." Jesus said, "Look, I will draw her in so as to make her male, so that she too may become a living male spirit, similar to you. For every woman who makes herself male will enter the kingdom of heaven."